So we're specifically talking about the ground, but before we move on, I want to reestablish something that I find very, very important. I think that, like I said, that you can't do martial arts, in my opinion, without learning a relative equivalent of how to fight. So if you're good at fighting up to here, be good at martial arts up to here. You don't have to wait until you're a really good fighter and then start doing martial arts. But you should be part of a program that's teaching you how to fight while they're introducing you on how to cheat that fight. So here's what I mean. Look at it like a tape measure. This is the sport. Yes? So you look at this like a sport. And then you say, well, I'm learning these because these pillars provide athleticism, understanding, priorities. They give you what's called a fighter IQ. You understand that this guy is going to try to kick and punch me. He's going to try to clinch me, grab me, pick me up. There's certain things that are going to be involved in somebody's attacking me that are going to look a lot like a collective MMA thing. Maybe not done as well as, but if they're going to hit you, they're going to hit you probably with a punch. Where? Probably in the face. If they tackle you, they're going to come at you and clinch you in the chest or tackle you low. Yeah? All the things. So you need to have an idea. You can't walk into a gym and have someone put their thing up and do a move and then try to bring that to the fight. You have to do the fight first. That's why it's called martial arts, not arts martial. Does that make sense? Yep. So, in between the fight, the athleticism, the thing that says, I'm getting to know what the person is going to want to do to me by me learning how to do it. Yes? So, in between that is martial arts, is where we cheat. Yes? So this is what your training looks like. This is how you train from that. So you can swing from this one, this one, this one, this one. You can swing from this one, this one, this one, or you can swing from this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And this is where it's best at, to train. Because once you do this, you can skip past any of them. You may get an easy takedown and that guy takes your arm and you just break it. It looks just like the sport. Other time, the guy was what? Size and weight. Everything being equal, bigger, stronger wins. Which is why this isn't sufficient enough, because violence tells us that we are always disproportionately affected by the bigger person. So, everything being equal, bigger, stronger wins. What does that mean? It means if Chris and I know the same amount, who should win? Me. I'm bigger and stronger. Yes? Right? What would be an even match? Gus and Mike, maybe? Maybe you two? Yes? Right. When is the last time you heard of a violent attack being called an even match? Never. You will never, because it's not part of the relationship. If violence is present, there's a victim. You can say, I love violence, so I do MMA fighting. That's not violence, that's aggressive sport, street. Yeah, it's not the same as someone standing over you saying, take your clothes off. It's not the same. It's not the same. Anybody tells you differently, I get it. But you're preparing for one. Now, does that mean, well, MMA doesn't have any rules, so, well, who do you think that benefits? MMA people are pretty good at what they're doing. And so, it doesn't benefit you if you fight an MMA person, because they're so good and so fast at what they're doing. But here's the niche. MMA people are in bed getting up and training. Fighting an MMA person on the street is a highly unlikely scenario. Right? But so no one like an average blue belt level or an average like I graduated high school or I got a 2-year degree in the college thing. It's about all you need to know about the sport. Then you can specialize, like being a doctor, or cardiology, or you're a brain surgeon. Do you work in pediatrics? Yes. Everybody's a doctor. Everybody's got the sport. I do Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Woo! Didn't see that coming. Yeah, of course, everybody does. But what then? Right? That's great for having a hobby. It's very self-reflective, gives you some insight, all the things. It's very helpful. all the good stuff, right? But if I'm a person who has kids and who has a family, who might be a part of a vulnerable group of people, but I need to cheat if I'm going to be a husband, a father, who has to deal with the possibility of home invasion. And I'm just walking up to the car and there he is. I don't have an opportunity to draw. And my kid is in the car seat, so he can't have my car because he's not going to unbuckle my kid. All these things are why we need to cheat. Yes? So today in Covering the Ground, we're going to look at first how we escape the mountain, how to get out of guard, and then we're going to cheat. This is the philosophy of fighting as a whole. So whether we're in the clinch, if Gus and I are in the clinch and I decide to bite him, thumb his eyes, headbutt, knee, and elbow, there's nothing sporty about that. Nothing. But I had to do enough of the pummeling and the plum and the necktie and the swimming to have enough pressure to feel when to do that. Martial arts schools want you to believe that you're going to go in and learn this technique, and when that guy clinches, you do that thing. But you've never felt the pressure of that. As we talked about, our position within the relationship of this conflict is victim. So there's always going to be heavy disproportionate relationship as a victim compared to violence. So whether or not that's the definition of that relationship. As a victim. So, as a victim on the ground, where do you think I'll be first? I'm sorry. As a victim in a relationship, and I go to the ground, I'll probably be on my back. Would you agree?
Yes.
Clearly, yes, clearly. So it's advantageous for you, right? Wrestling is about dominating and getting on top, because the pin is the goal. So they're really good at staying on top. But the relationship says we'll be on the bottom in our back. So what I'd like to do is show you some go-kart positions, Chris. So the first go-kart position is understand that I'm on my butt. How did I get there? Well, from the guard, from the fact that I could have done our 6 counts to the destruction of the base, right? So he's on his knees facing me. He's on his knees. So we're in this position here. It's important to know that it didn't get there because we slapped up and we're doing jigs. It's not how this happened. But I can start here and then connect the two situations together. So let's do that. So I'm going to start from here. I'm on my back. I'm sitting up to get him. I have 2 grips to take these hands. It's harder when he's punching you. But remember, we've done damage prior to this point. So what I want to do, in jiu-jitsu, there's something called kicking a downed opponent that you're not supposed to do, whether in UFC or anything. But here, I heard nobody say such thing. So we're going to go ahead and continue, and I'm going to push. Remember, the go-kart means that I'm going to push and pull with my feet. This is this go-kart position. Some people call it other things, many things. But for our intensive purposes, our goal is to move and shift his body weight so that I can hit him. So I really want to create a place where I'm pulling on the arm that I'm pushing, same side, right? So the first position is I'm going to take him and push this and arm drag this and push it on his hip and hold this position locked out. So I need his arm back where my elbow is, and I need to lock out my leg. Push on this like a wedge in a door, and push on this hip. Yes, I have the arm so he can't push on it and pass around it. He'd have to literally throw himself. Now, once that I have this position, now I'm going to start to hit this guy. I'm going to uppercut from here and hit over. Hit and hit. Yes? Anytime he relinquishes his arm, I can go into a submission. We'll do that as a counter for who he may do. But right now, before that happens, I just want to get this, same thing this side. Push on that hip. And start to hit, hit, hit. Come back, grab the other arm. Push, hit underneath, hit, hit, hit. A lot of times he'll bring that arm over. Yes, try to bring his arm in play. Go, boom, yes, then I'll switch, go to this side. And hit, put back on the knee, back on the hip. Hit, hit, and hit. The full position to pull him, so when I drop the switch point for the video, So if I go from here, from his hip to his knees, it's because I intend to flatten him out. I'm gonna reach, grab his jaw, and pull it over into into a choke, or into this position right here. Okay? So the position to hit and the position to roll him. Foot, hip, pull. When I slide it down, I flatten him out, pull the chin, lock my foot over. Okay? This isn't some technique, it's a position just like you would do in jiu-jitsu. Remember, it's active. It's the difference between a position and a technique is I'm staying active. I pull here, I start to hit, I flatten him out, then I pull, wrap it up, start to hit some more. And I can see, I can arm bar from here, I can back roll out. It's a good position to the cheek. So we're doing ground fighting, and how I got here, we know how we got here, different things. So I'm gonna arm drag this arm, boom, pull it, and lock that knee out. But I'm pulling it deep, locking this arm up, yes? Putting my hand down here, pulling him so much that he can't rotate. Then I start to hit. Then I drop the knee, switch my feet, pull him. Yes? My arm goes over, locking this up. Yes? Getting this crucifix. Now I'm here. Yes? This is a kind of a mix of both submission and street. Yes? I'm hitting here. I'm not boom, boom, I'm hitting. I'm hitting the groin. I'm not trying to be nice here. Then I'll lean back and break the arm at any given point I want, right? But everything's not as easy as it looks. So let's make that easier, because he could resist, yes? So first thing I do is I grab his hand and I kick him in the chest. I kick him in the face, I kick him in the groin, both. One on the knee, boom, boom, boom. Push kicks, boom, yes? So I'm pulling him in as I'm kicking, yes? So if he resists, I'm gonna kick. Yes? So that's the first kick. The second one is I go to arm drag and he sits back. So I turn and kick him in the head. So I said again. So like I would be folding if I was doing a jiu-jitsu move to spin, I'm going to get that arm, he resists. I go to the side and kick with the roundhouse to the side of the head. Okay? Then I can come back and pull guard or do other moves. So the first move, grab the hands, kick, groin. The second move, you go to arm drag, he fights it, you fall off to the side and kick. Okay? Everybody got it? Ready?